triggering change, one heartbeat at a time. Battle for Freedom. Hi everyone, my name is Watson Prunier. I'm the host of Battle for Freedom on Mojo50 Radio, and I'm glad that you're listening. If you want to follow me, my website's battle4.com. Battle4.com. Also, I want you to go check out mojo50.com, but it's actually mojo50.com. I want you to go there, learn a little bit more about this network. Depending on your entry point for the program, you probably be listening in the morning. You just finished listening to The Situation Room with Rocky Stucci. In the afternoon is Right Now with Jim Dawes. But again, appreciate you listening in, following, and paying attention. If you learn more about the host of Mojo50 Radio, go to mojo50.com/schedule and see all the different programs that are available for you. So we want to start this day off right, and we're going to do this the right way. So we're going to start off with some American Pride Roasters coffee, and I want you to listen to the deal that they have going on right now. Did you hear that sound? That was the factory of American Pride Roasters closing from August 24th to September 14th. Don't freak out. APR Coffee isn't going anywhere. They're doing their annual factory shutdown to reorganize, restock, and clean. You can still order from them, but your favorite coffee won't ship until September 16th, around that time. During the shutdown, they are offering the Brad's Brown Bag Blend. It's a combination of the best brown beans from Africa, Eurasia, and the Americas. Brad's Brown Bag is an unforgettably tasty blend. In order to get this new blend, just go to mojo50.com and click the donate button at the top. Donate at least $25 per bag. That's a nice round number. And you will also get a free 8-ounce bag of coffee for every additional 2 pounds you order at AmericanPrideRoasters.com during their factory shutdown. Please take advantage of this limited time offer while you can. AmericanPrideRoasters.com. Yes, check them out. And not only that, I want you to look at another one of our sponsors, and that's New Life Holistic. I want you to get some focus on this as you try to better understand maybe the many things that we're saying to you just doesn't make any sense. So I want to share with you New Life Holistic and catch this before we get into starting about today's topics, okay? Does it seem like your mind often shuts down before it even starts? Sounds like you need to detox to improve your health in body, mind, and spirit. I'd like to tell you about New Life Holistic. It is an amazing therapy process that uses neurofeedback and biofeedback for many issues that ails everyone. New Life's approach to health, balance, energy, and vitality is what sets it apart from anything you have ever experienced before. Call 1-833-4-BIO-LIFE and tell them Watson from Battle for Freedom sent you. One more thing. Give them the code MOJO50 and save $50 off of your first session. The consult is free. New Life Holistic. Call them today. Yes, call them today. Listen, what I want to talk to you about today, it just seems like there's been this never-ending barrage from the media to get a certain narrative that's out there. I'm talking to you today about the narrative that never sleeps. It takes me back to, I was thinking, Black Hawk Down, but nah, that's not it. It's because we're kind of getting hit, slammed, day and day, news article, story, everything that's hitting us. And it took me back to this one familiar moment that I want you to understand, and there's a pun intended in this whole process. Check this out.
Find out tonight how much the Ali fight took out of Frazier, if anything. And we'll find out tonight just how good George Foreman is in punching and in taking a punch. I think he hurt Joe Frazier. I think Joe is hurt. Angie Dundee, Ali's trainer, right next to me is saying it. You may hear him. Down goes Frazier! Down goes Frazier! Down goes Frazier! The heavyweight champion is taking the mandatory 8 count, and Foreman is as poised as can be in a neutral corner. He is as poised as can be. We have a minute left in this first round, and already this fight is proving out what some have expected. Oh, that left is getting in there. Underneath, Archie Moore is yelling to Foreman. We've got the excitement here that we look for. Frazier is dazed. He is getting hit again and again and again. The same head that was hit so often by Muhammad Ali. Frazier is dazed. You see the countdown for the first round. Foreman has not panicked. Foreman is going about his job. Foreman is all over Joe Frazier. Frazier is down again, and he may be. No, he is rising. He is game. He doesn't know where he is. The mandatory 8 count. He doesn't know where he is. Now the round is about to end. 2 knockdowns in the first round of Joe Frazier. Down again. No saving by the bell. He's up, and so the fight continues. 3 knockdowns in the first round by George Foreman. The stool hasn't even been brought out yet for Frazier. What excitement. You're looking at Joe Frazier.
You know, as you think about that moment, that time, the bigger than the fight was the way that it was narrated. As you sit here and you watch it, down goes Frazier, 3 knockdowns in the first round. And it seems like 2020 has been a year that has been knockdown after knockdown. We've had COVID, we've had riots, we've had tornadoes, we've had derecho, we've had hurricanes. We have had so much hit us this year, and it seems like even with the media is constantly hitting and barraging us with the idea and the concept, this interesting concept of black people dying at the hands of police officers. Now you have to understand something. The reason why I'm so passionate about this is because of the fact that there is this illusion, there is this delusion, there's this deception that's going on right now that's preventing people from being honest, especially the media. One of my friends, he sent me an email earlier this week as I was talking about the whole idea that, they keep talking about how the police are killing more black men, and Don Lemon had made a statement where Joe Biden needs to come out blazing and say, you know what, folks, it was on Donald Trump's watch that all these black people lost their lives at the hands of black men. It was under Donald Trump's authority, his white supremacist authority, that all these black men lost their lives. And I told you earlier in the week where I was looking at this, and I gave you a long list of names of people who were killed during the Barack Obama's administration. And these are the big names. These are the big names that basically hit the airwaves that everybody would know. Tamir Rice, Sandra Bland, and all these other different people. Michael Brown, talking about all these individuals. But what happened was, these were the people during Barack Obama's administration, and every time a black man went down, it was crazy because of the fact that the media set the narrative. Y'all have been buying it, and I've got received an email from Yug earlier this week where he said he showed from 2014 to 2016, former President Barack Obama in charge, and you had 69 black men who were shot and killed by the police. From then, or killed by the police in police custody or in a confrontation. And then you look from 2017 to 2020, so a period of almost 4 years, and only 45 have died. Am I making light of the difference of the 45 lives that were lost? Is this more fantastic because of the fact that only 24 men died, 24 people died? No, I'm not doing that. But this illusion that Donald Trump, and mind you, we only had 69 in 3 years. The numbers are far, far, far worse under Barack Obama of the number of people who lost their lives. And now it's only a 3-year period of time. 2014 to 2016. What if we roll in 2009 all the way up to 2013? How many more lives gone, dead? This narrative that Trump is sending out the cops to kill black people. And then every other day, because here's the latest one. Just when you thought everything was going to calm down, we keep getting all these new things that are happening. And I see this video that takes place. I'm sure you've probably seen it as well too. This happened back in March. This is in upstate, I believe, New York. Black man, the plastic bag is placed over his head. It's snowing outside. He's practically naked, sitting in his underwear. And you sit there and you watch this thing and you're trying to make sense as to what's going on. Why is this happening? Why is he butt naked out in the middle of the street? And they said he died of asphyxiation. Disturbing video, here it is. Disturbing video basically says that a black man suffocating to death after New York State cops put a hood over his head and pressed his face into the road until he stopped breathing. Now, we didn't see that part. But again, the optics on this, oh, bad, most definitely. I have concerns. I have concerns about this. Why are you putting a hood over his head? Again, but there's so much we don't understand. But a lot of us, all you're seeing is the last few minutes, or you're only seeing what the media wants you to see. So as you continue and you keep getting hit left and right, and you're trying to make sense, you can't recover from this, and you're frustrated and you're angry, and you're like, why is this happening? Why do they keep killing our people? And then we start distorting the narratives and the story of how people have been killed. So we say that some people get shot in the back who weren't shot in the back, some people who were strangled, some people were stabbed. We start making up the story because our mind is continually hit with a barrage of situations that have been destroying the lives of individuals. Now, I'm not going to sit here and condone people losing their lives, but we have to understand and we have to ask ourselves a clear question if you really want to be honest, if you really want an answer and you want this to come to an end. Why are the police coming out to these situations? Why are the police there in the first place? Because someone's making a call. This isn't a Karen making a call. These aren't Karens making calls. These are actually law-abiding citizens who live in the communities, and they're tired of the drama that happens with someone who's in their community knocking on their door or doing whatever. They want it to end. So they call the police, who's here to protect and serve. But all we see is a life lost, and that's all we focus on, but we don't focus on the reality. And maybe because of the fact that there's just been your conscience, your discernment skills have been slaughtered. They've been laid. George Foreman haymakers of reality have hit you, and you can't think anything through. But here it is. This video is not good. This video is not good. It does not bode well for the men in blue who are sitting there and doing this. It's snowing outside. He's butt naked, so it means it's cold. I don't like what I'm seeing in this video, but until we know more about it, I think the best thing we can do is wait for the facts to come out. Wait for the information. Because remember, they said that George Floyd died as asphyxiation from the police officer being on his knee for almost 9 minutes. We now know that was a lie. We know that he died because of the fentanyl, the high levels of fentanyl that was in his system. And one of the things that it does is it builds up fluids in your lungs where you can't breathe anymore. But we don't have that conversation because there's a narrative being pushed to you that you constantly keep thinking that America is unstable, it's racist, and no black person can survive. And if you really believe that, you're delusional because there's far many. Oprah Winfrey, billionaire. Tyler Perry, billion. Now he's the new billionaire now. He's part of the billionaire club. I mean, when you sit here and you keep thinking all these people are being knocked down, and all these people are still being knocked up. Not knocked up. You know what I'm saying? But this doesn't look good. But let's move on to the one, and again, another narrative that you guys only see the last 5 minutes of this, but we're going to hear the story about this because of the fact that Bill Barr decides that he's going to speak up on the Jacob Blake issue. He said Jacob Blake was committing a felony and armed when he was shot 7 times in the back by a Kenosha cop, and this is what's being told. That he says that police shootings of black people are not necessarily racist. It's not necessarily racist. Again, before I go back to what he said, think about this. If the police are coming out, it's not white people who are calling the police on the black people who lose their lives. It's black people calling the police on black people who lose their lives. So if there's going to be any culpability, then tell black people stop calling the police on black people. Instead of defunding the police, why not you just basically stop calling 911 and you deal with the consequences of the bums, of the hoodlums, of the abusers, of the drug dealers, all of them doing whatever they want, and you have no recourse but to sit there and take what they dish out to you. Don't call the cops anymore. You want to defund the police? Stop calling them. You call the police when George Floyd was acting crazy. Blake was shot 7 times. Wait, here it is. Kenosha police officer Rustin Shesky shot Jacob during an arrest. Blake was shot 7 times in the back. State Justice Department said that there was a knife on the floorboard of his car, but they said police have not said that Blake was holding a knife when he was shot. And mind you, you heard, if you be honest, come on, seriously here. In the video, you hear witnesses saying, put the knife down. In the video, before you see him getting shot, you didn't know that he had one of the officers in a headlock. And he was fighting. He was combative. The sweet guy that everybody's sitting there talking about, he was a hoodlum. He was a bum. Because if you're dumb enough to attack the police and think that there won't be any consequences to your action, you're a hoodlum and you're a bum. Period. There's no way around this. It's very unfortunate because of the fact that people aren't being honest. People aren't being honest with what's going on here, and we need to start seeing things happen completely different and be honest and transparent in what's taking place. There was never any point in time when there was justification for deadly force. That's what the lawyers of what the lawyers of Blake's family is going to say. Of course they're going to say that. And my thing is, I'm sitting here thinking like there was no need for deadly force. How about rape force? When your client decided he wanted to rape a minor? How about all the other different things that your client has done? Not just him. George Floyd, this paragon, the sweet pictures of him. Do we need to go back to Texas and look at him holding up people, putting a gun to a person's belly? A pregnant woman's belly or head? Do we need to look at all the different things that he was doing that was criminal in nature? Don't talk to me about the. Stop making these people saints, and they were nothing but agents for Satan. Period. Let's get away from this for a second because my blood's boiling, and I just really need to get away from this. This is not cool. Thank you, Mr. Barr. Do your job. We'll go from there. Let's look at this. Former UN employee is charged with making false statements to cover up the fact that he had drugged and sexually assaulted multiple women in Iraq. Karim El-Korani, 37, is charged with making false statements to federal agents. Prosecutors said he drugged and assaulted at least 5 women in Iraq. El-Korani was a UNICEF and UN spokesman in Iraq from 2013 to 2018. And he was charged in the indictment in Manhattan Federal Court on Wednesday. The reason why I share this with you is because of the fact that, you know, in the concept of the boxing, you watch what was happening with Foreman, and you watch what happened with Foreman and Frazier, and you see that Foreman was hitting some really strong left jabs. It's really strong left jab. The jab, it hits you, and sometimes there's a little pause, it's a little brief as they're trying to get their composure and figure out what's going to be their next tactic, what's going to be their next move on trying to take you down. And so sometimes you get and also that jab is to sit there and disorient you so you're not paying attention to everything else going on. That jab, you're too busy focusing on the jab that you never see this arm, this hand that's sitting here ready to come for a hook, for a cross, or whatever. They hit you with the jab and they keep you disoriented. See, every time you have these situations, let's roll back for a few months here. You have every time a black person's shot or killed. Let's look and roll the tapes. Let's go back to George Floyd. 3 days before George Floyd was killed, we had record number of people who were killed in Chicago. Not only that, during that weekend, we also had Joe Biden say to Charlemagne that if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. Now, everybody's saying, oh my goodness, you're petty to say that they're petty enough to actually use a tragedy to divert attention away from Joe Biden. Why not? Every last one of you are basically saying that Donald Trump he's a distraction artist and he doesn't want anybody paying attention to the bad things he's doing, so he'll just have us focusing on something else. So let's say you were true on that. Let's say you were true on that. How can you sit here and ignore the reality that other people do the same exact thing themselves? Why in the world do we put ourselves in this position that we only believe one segment of people can do evil, but we don't believe that all people can just be evil? Word of God says, for all have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. Romans 3:23. We're all sinners. We're all broken. Romans 3:20. There's none righteous, no, not one. None seek after God. Read Romans 3:10 through 12. Read 23. Just read the whole book of Romans. But you're inundated and you're hit, and here it is. We have a UNICEF, a UN spokesman from Iraq, who turned around and wanted to rape individuals. See, so when president wants to pull us out of the UN, When the president wants to pull us out of organizations where we're paying into, but no one else is living up to their commitments to wanting to pay, oh, we can't let that stuff happen. We can't. And even now, think about this too. Think about this too. The number of lives that were killed that we're focusing on, because those black lives that are the black lives that matter, that we're concerned about now, this comes on the heels of hearing about the fact that the CDC got their numbers wrong. We can't focus on the CDC anymore because we've got to kill another black person, or we've got to bring something else that's going to enrage black people out to the wazoo. Because as long as they're angry, they're not focused, and they can't pay attention to this hand down here. As long as I keep jabbing them with story after story, story after story that I tailor to make it seem like this is another injustice that took place. I don't give them all the information. I just give them a bone. I give them a bone, and it's all I need to keep them distracted and keep them believing the false narrative that's been pushed for the longest time. Facts state more whites are dying at the hands of police officers than blacks. Facts share that more blacks are dying at the hands of other black people. But we're going to keep giving you these situations that are the minority, pun intended, of the reality, instead of actually you see the bigger 30,000-foot view of what's taking place. Because as long as I keep jabbing you, as long as I keep poking you in the eye, as long as I keep getting you annoyed. Let me think about this. Remember the TV movie, or the movie Tarzan? And he's like, stop hitting yourself, stop hitting yourself, stop hitting yourself. Punching the person, using the person's fist to punch them in the face. It's annoying, right? It's annoying. The poke feature inside Facebook. Wasn't that annoying? Drive you up the wall. Like, leave me alone. Stop poking me. Stop poking me. Because the fact that in so doing, you enrage people, you agitate them, and you get to the point of the fact that they're disoriented. Because the moment they start seeing red, the moment they start getting angry, they lose focus and they lose commitment to whatever task that they were assigned. Make no mistake, this is engineered for a reason. The question is whether or not you want to believe it, whether or not you want to accept that reality, or you're just going to allow yourself to continually be manipulated. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. You have to look at this. You have to look at the way that this has been going on and how this has been rolled out with one key feature, one key focus. Make black people angry, and as long as they're angry, they're going to think that the reason why their life is miserable is because of conservatives, because of Republicans, because of Donald Trump. So they'll go to the polls and they will vote for a Democrat who said, you ain't black if you vote for me, a Democrat, again, who was responsible for engineering and orchestrating and authoring the worst legislation against black people in the history of this country. In 1994 crime bill that has Joe Biden's fingerprint and every other part of his essence all over it. And even Charlemagne decided that he wanted to confront him on that. He just kept lying like, no, it's not like that. It's not like that. Charlemagne's like, no, bro, your name is all over this. This is all you. You're guilty. You caused the incarceration. And worse, you have Kamala Harris, who was the highest police officer in California, who turned around and put more, or maybe LA County, and put more black men behind bars than any other presidential candidate or vice presidential candidate or any other senator. But you sit here and you remain silent to what's going on because Orange Man bad is all you want to hear. Orange Man bad is all you want to hear, and that's all you can process. Well, as we sit here and we watch this thing take place, you're going to have one response. You can either wake up from your phase, you can either wake up from the delusion, you can wake up, or you can choose to be miserable and paralyzed and manipulated and violated. Because if you're paralyzed, you could be easily manipulated, and well, you're getting manipulated and become paralyzed, and while you're paralyzed, well, you could become violated at that whole process. All because of the fact that you didn't want to believe the truth. Let's do this. I'm your host, Watson Prunier from Battle for Freedom. Let's go to a break, and I'll talk to you people on the flip side.
love American Pride Roasters in the morning. It really gets me off to work.
AmericanPrideRoasters.com. AmericanPrideRoasters.com.
Why have thousands of aspiring authors teamed up with Christian Faith Publishing to publish their book? Because Christian Faith Publishing is an author-friendly publisher who understands that your labor is more than just a book. We provide authors freedom and flexibility throughout the publishing process, professional book editing, award-winning design, and some of the highest royalty structures in the publishing industry. And as always, you will retain 100% of the rights to your book.
I was looking to find a company that I could trust, one that assisted in the editing process completely.
The most important qualities that I was looking for was a publisher who was honest and upfront, no hidden costs or fees, and owning the rights to my own work.
Christian Faith Publishing will publish, market, and sell your books in all major bookstores, online booksellers, as well as specialty Christian bookstores. Call for your free author submission kit.
800-978-4812. 800-978-4812. 800-978-4812. That's 800-978-4812.
Fast Track Student Loans can get your student loans out of default, stop any wage garnishments, stop collection calls, and stop seizure of your tax refund. Give yourself a break. Stop the stress and get your student loan payments down to as little as $25 a month based on what you can afford to pay. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395.
Hi, it's Doc Thompson for Matthew 25 Ministries. Matthew 25 Ministries is one of the few charities I'll actually endorse because I know them. I've worked with them, and I know almost all of the money that you donate goes to help people. Go to m25m.org. M25M.
Welcome back, everyone. This is Watson Prenate from Battle for Freedom on Mojo 50 Radio. Listen, get your day started the right way and get your mind together. Maybe I need just a little bit more energy. Speaking of energy, let's hear some words from one of our sponsors, Patriot Energy. Are your energy bills getting out of hand and you want to unplug from the grid? Consider Patriot Energy, a local veteran-owned solar company. You need honesty, integrity, and clarity. These markers are essential in the ever-growing solar industry. Call 602-721-6717 for a free quote. Tell them that Watson from Battle for Freedom on Mojo 50 Radio sent you. That number is 602-721-6717. Call Patriot Energy today. And when you do that, I also want you to consider something else. Maybe you just need to unplug, get away from everything, get off the grid. And the best way to get off the grid for, up to 7 days, why don't you consider cat coolers? And this is the reason why I'm sharing with cat coolers. Stuff is really good. Check it out. When the world is going to hell in a handbasket, you need rugged. You need strong. You need durable. You need cat coolers. These are the best coolers on the market in 27, 55, and 88 quart. Go to catcoolers.com and give them the code Watson to save 10% on your purchase. Don't settle for those substandard containers that melt, leak, and destroy your memorable moments. Tell them that Watson from Battle for Freedom sent you. Cat coolers. One of the things that's very interesting for me as I sit here and looking at, the drama of everything happening. I'm talking about Black Man Down, the narrative that never sleeps, is we're getting hit left and right. If those of you who are coming into this late, one of the things I got is, I'm not going to give you the whole clip, but I'm going to give you into 17 seconds into this clip.
Angie Dundee, Ali's trainer, right next to me is saying it. You may hear him. Down goes Frazier! Down goes Frazier! Down goes Frazier!
So that phrase right there, down goes Frazier, down goes Frazier. 2020 has been beating us down left and right. But what's worse, though, is the way that the media portrays it is we no longer have COVID-19 victims. We only have black victims in America. Black man down, black man down. And not black man thinking with Stan Levy, and not me being one of the only, well, actually, I'm now feeling a little bit insecure because in the afternoons after Battle for Freedom, you actually have a Patriotically Correct? There's a black man on that network. I thought I was the only one. What's up with Mojo's leadership? I don't care about this diversity nonsense. Because this black man's down because I'm not getting all the attention as the only conservative on this network. Sorry. Bring a little humor to everything going on in the insanity called 2020. But again, listen to Patriotically Correct immediately after in the afternoons on Mojo 50 Radio at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Trust me, you can't go wrong. But I also want you to listen to Mojo 50, the Daily Mojo that comes on at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So please listen and then pay attention. But we've been inundated with story after story, of black men getting killed. One putting a hood on him, and all this data that's out there that just goes to show you that these killings have been happening since the dawn of time. We have to get away from this mentality. And most people right now, all they feel is that, right, and they utter this ignorance that the black man is an endangered species. Now, let's unwrap that for a second here. You keep thinking that it's from the police. I'm telling you, look back into your community. When I tell you that 95% of the black men and black women who die at the hands of other black, well, it's just the same in white communities where white people kill the white people. Yeah, it's funny how you deflect, but you still ignore the fact that 95% of all black people who die at the hands of other black people. You can't get around it. You could twist it, you could deflect, you could do whatever you want, but unfortunately, and I feel bad. Listen to my program called ACEs, where I talked about the anti-cognitive as eisegetical syndrome, where you have been pre-programmed to only see one reality in life, and unfortunately, you just lack the cognitive and the discernment skills to recognize that you've been manipulated. That you've been manipulated to only see one reality. And day in, day out, unfortunately, the news continues to put this nonsense out there. And in this fight, in this battle that you deal with, you get you get the jabs, you get the hook, you get all these different things, these haymakers that are just taking you out, right? And then what they do is they ease up and they get you to focus on something completely different. Or did another black man lose their life because of this? So this was over on Sunday. This was really sad about it was vile, but this is the new norm. Urinating woman is seen performing a sex act on a man on Upper West Side Street as the upmarket neighborhood experiences a surge in crime after Mayor de Blasio moved 13,000 homeless people into the area. A woman is seen performing this sex act on a man on Sunday night. The disturbing incident took place between West 78th and 79th Street and Broadway. And it comes as the Upper West Side continues to grapple with the rise in homelessness and crime amid the pandemic. And they said that this has become a new normal. But yet we have Jerry Seinfeld, who's in his, Porsche and his $1 million car out in the Hamptons telling people you're cowards for leaving New York. Don't just hang in there. It's going to get better. When Jerry Seinfeld could just drive away from the madness, so he doesn't have to worry about the homeless sleeping in his community. He doesn't have to worry about the homeless defecating or performing sexual acts in front of his home. He's got nice big walls and fences to protect himself from all that craziness. And you know what? And when the poop hits the fan and everything goes crazy, you think these guys are going to hang around? You think Seinfeld's going to hang around and just wait it out in New York? Or is he going to get on a plane and get out of Dodge as fast as he possibly can? While the rest of us regular American citizens who barely can scratch two nickels together, we're stuck wherever we go. But yeah, just hang in there. New York's going to be better. You're foolish forever thinking that New York is just so bad and it's irredeemable. Yeah, this is pretty sad and it's pretty hilarious at the same time. But we're watching this thing take place. We're watching this thing happen, and people aren't being honest. They're not being honest with us, and you're seeing this daily happen. Crime rising, de Blasio moving, homeless people, and a lot of you saying, well, Donald Trump's racist. And the only thing that you have racist, perceivably racist for him, is you keep accusing him, saying he didn't want to rent out his places to black people. This wasn't Donald Trump. This was Donald Trump's dad. But his last name's Trump. Everyone who's Trump just should be guilty of anything, right? But that doesn't matter. That doesn't work in your community. That doesn't work if someone who has the same last name as a rapper or a gangster or whatever, or a rapist. It's not the same person. They might be in the same family, but they're not the same person. And let's get into this old idea about black men down in the black community. You sit here and you watch that the reason why black men are down when it's not by the hands of police officers, but by black women who have been empowered to basically threaten black men that if you don't pay child support or you don't do what I want you to do, you don't do what I command you to do, I will turn around and call the police and have you arrested. Be late on child support. You don't believe me? You remember, what was it, Medea's family reunion where Little Bow Wow was in that? And he had his girlfriend, who was baby mama, making that noise, smacking her teeth, smacking her attitude. And it showed you right there in a movie, right there, the reality in a movie, that a black woman will sit there and terrorize a black man if he does not yield to the power, to the false power that's being given to her by the man in the rule house, no man in the rule house policy that has been passed down for black women for decades. And they're thinking that they're single mothers who are doing everything without anybody. But you know what? The government's your baby daddy. While the government's raping your baby daddy because you gave them the power to degrade and basically humiliate your baby daddy. So if truth be real, more black people are ending up in jail, not only because of the drugs, but because of the fact that black women have told them, get out of my house because I'm getting mine. I'm getting paid. Black man down. Look how many black women put black men, and some of them, you know what? They just can't get a decent enough job. They can't even keep a job. Some of them trying and losing their work because of the fact that they choose a better way. But the people who sometimes hire them want the thug, they want the loser, they want the drug dealer, they want the person who's going to make them the money under the table. And when black men try to do the things the right way, they get shot down. They get called Uncle Toms. They get called sellouts. They get called wannabes, wannabe white boys, just because of the fact that they just want something different in their lives and they want to get away from the drama. We can't talk about that, can we? We can't be honest about that, can we? Black man down, the narrative that never sleeps. Let's get into this other one, because this one comes out. I mean, and the timing of this one, this is the one that really kills me. The timing of this new one. This is yesterday. DC police officer fatally shoots a man in Southeast Washington. A DC police officer shot and killed a young man Wednesday afternoon in the Southeast Washington Congress Heights neighborhood. The district police chief said the incident occurred shortly before 4 p.m. in the 200 block of Orange Street Southeast. I need to pause here for a second here. 200 block of Orange Street Southeast. Orange man bad? Understand this. Listen, the timing, the location, everything is beautiful. The narration, the plots, the thing, the scene, the outfits, the drama, the tension. It sells well. It sells beautifully as we watch here as this man loses his life. Two city officials who viewed police body camera video of the incident said that at least two officers approached the vehicle in a parking lot and on foot. An on-foot chase began. As one officer ran past the vehicle, the official said the footage shows K, and his name is, if I'm correct, is Deon K. Yeah, Deon K. Deon K basically pulls a gun from his waist. The official said the officer fired, appearing to strike K in the chest. And city officials said that they plan to publicly release the body camera footage as soon as Thursday. And in a press release, police included photos of a gun they said K was carrying and a firearm that they said was recovered from a man arrested at the scene. But again, we're going to show this sweet Deon K. He was too young to die, but Popo had an eye on him to die, because America, we gotta hunt down the Negroes and kill them every day, because that is the American way. Yeah, that's the way that they do it in this country. And I'm sitting here, I'm just sick and tired of this. Because you have to ask yourself, why Why were the police there? Hello. Earlier, when I talked about Attorney General William Barr saying that, what was his name? Blake was carrying a knife. We hear that he was, he had raped a minor. He was causing a disturbance. The police are called to the scene because of the fact that this Negro doesn't know how to chill out and comply. He doesn't respect safe zones. He doesn't want to empower women. No, he wants to lord himself over women, and he wants to dominate women, and you guys keep lifting him up as some martyr. This gets old, and this gets tiring. It gets pathetic. Seriously. Frazier down! Frazier down! Black man down! Because of the fact that we don't want to deal with the sad reality that a lot of these individuals are not living above board. But what we do is we continue to just blame everybody else for what we are doing rather than own up to our own mistakes, rather than own up to what we have been doing. And it's a tragedy. It's a nightmare. It's annoying. And it has to change, and it has to change now. Constantly getting new series. And this is the reason why you have to understand, this is what annoys me about this whole process. And everybody else who even talks about this on Mojo 50 Radio. I found this article called Crack That Whip. The jab is the most important punch. I want you to hear this as they say that the jab is the most important punch in here. The most important punch is the jab. The jab doesn't end fights, but it sets up everything else that does. You know what? You can't get your opponent into checkmate without first moving your pawns properly. Jabs keep your opponent busy and force them to play defense versus thinking necessarily about their own offense. And when you're playing chess and you start losing all of your pawns, you get frustrated and you start playing defense. The jab flusters your opponent because they create a momentary stun. And that moment is our opportunity. They say for 90% of us, they said that the jab is our left hand. Can't write this stuff any better. The left is the jab. The left has been inundating us with this narrative of racism. This left has been inundating us with this narrative of inequality. The left has been hitting us with this narrative that life ain't fair. Life is racist. The right is racist. They've been hitting you non-stop with it. You are so disoriented, you can't even watch the weather. You're so disoriented, you can't even read a map. You can't even operate a calculator because all you've experienced is constant beating and hitting by the left about what American racism looks like. And unfortunately, in the process of doing that, you have failed. You have failed to recognize you've been manipulated, and it's time for you to think different. Please, I'm begging you to think different, because if you don't, it's only going to hurt you and those you care about the most. Let me go do a quick thing with Brad Staggs because this is important. I want you to take a listen to this. Need home repair, but the instructions are giving you home despair? Is that budget for home repair as offensive as our national debt? Try this. Go to mojo50.com/shop and order Spend a Little, Save a Lot by Brad Staggs, host of the Daily Mojo. Save money on restoring your little castle today. Order the book now and tell them Watson from Battle4Freedom had sent you. And as you do that, Brad Staggs, get, what is it? Save a little, spend a lot. I'll give you my video so you can look at me. As you do that, folks, understand this. You're going to need to find some constructive things to do because life is just getting so crazy. Sorry. Life is getting so crazy as we watch all this stuff unfold before our eyes. And I'm really bothered because of the fact that I don't think many of you are recognizing how badly they're setting you up for the rope-a-dope. Foreman, they said that you never wanted to be hit by Foreman because when he hit hard. Probably kind of like a lot like Mike Tyson. he hit hard when he struck. And a lot of people aren't recognizing that you have to be careful and you have to be prepared for the worst case scenario. Foreman hit hard, Tyson hit hard, and many of you are constantly being hit hard by what has been told to you by the media, what you need to be indignant about, what you need to be bothered about. And I'm begging you, I'm asking you, please don't buy the lie, don't buy the deception. Wake up from your slumber and stop being stunned momentarily that you can't recover. Let's get back to this on the left and the right on this one here. For 90% of us, the left jab is our left hand. And in orthodox fighting, in an orthodox fighting stance, the left hand is the closest weapon to your opponent. While the advantage of the jab is as a close weapon, it is that close. It doesn't have the power of the dominant right hand. I didn't write this. If you have a problem with what I'm saying, talk to Eric C. Stevens, who wrote on Breaking Muscle. He's the one who's using this left and right terminology. He is the one who's probably making you feel uncomfortable as we sit here talking about this. But as you sit here and the left keeps jabbing you with this narrative that you're a victim and you can't survive, you can't recover. But we're here. We're here to help you. We're here to help you. I want you to see, let's finish up. Let's go back to this video here with Frazier and Foreman. I just want you to notice the parallels of what's going on here and listen to what Cosell says.
The heavyweight champion is taking the mandatory 8 count, and Foreman is as poised as can be in a neutral corner. He is as poised as can be. We have a minute left in this first round, and already this fight is proving out what some have expected. Oh, that left is getting in there. Underneath, Archie Moore is yelling to Foreman. We've got the excitement here that we look for. Frazier is dazed. He is getting hit again and again and again. The same head that was hit so often by Muhammad Ali. Frazier is dazed. You see the countdown for the first round. Foreman has not panicked. Foreman is going about his job. Foreman is all over Joe.
And he is down again. Down again. You're getting hit in the head multiple times. You're getting hit. You're being there's this onslaught. It's fighter. It's opponent after opponent. From the media, from the community. See, here's the crazy part about it is that many of you are so dazed because of the fact that the blows that you've been taking to the head has been by the people in your own community, so that when it actually happens by other people and the media tells you that this is what you should be offended by, this is what you should be shocked by, you jump right on it. Yes, systemic racism, it's affecting us, it's destroying us. Instead of actually dealing with the bigger issue that's in your community. They're hitting you with this narrative because as long as you're dazed and as long as you keep getting beaten, as long as black people, whether they're drug dealers, whether they're gangbangers, whether they're relatives who sexually assault you, physically assault you, kill you, get you hooked on drugs, prostitute you. Those have been the haymakers. Those have been the haymakers that have been taking your community out. When the fathers are kicked out of the homes and the mothers are sending them to jail for pettiness. Oh, if he's an abuser, get rid of him. You knew he was an abuser before you hooked up with him. You knew he was beating other women before you hooked up with him, but you still got in a relationship with him. Where is the personal accountability in that aspect? You see, you realize that you've been getting jabs for so long from the left, you can't even recognize when you're drinking your own poison, thinking that the bottle was handed to you from Republicans, and you're the one who poured the poison yourself. Because when you know baby daddy got 6 other kids, and you still choose to sleep with baby daddy, if he ain't taking care of the other 6, he won't take care of the 7 or 8 that you're about to give him. He won't. But you don't want to hear that. That reality is too much for you to bear. And it's unfortunate. I'm sorry that you haven't been taught a different way, a different form of life and living to make yourself a little bit more pleasing and enjoyable in life. Trust me, there's a better way. It's difficult. It takes work. It takes commitment. But you can step out of the ring right now, because maybe that's a fight that you shouldn't even be engaging in the first place. Many of you right now, you're in this craze, you're in this community, you're in this phase right now. Black Lives Matter. We got to fight for the oppression of black people. Maybe God's telling you, shut up, sit down, and actually start looking in the mirror and seeing where you're contributing to your own failures, your own problems. And until you get to that point, until you get honest with that, your life is going to continue to be miserable. And you won't take advantage of those great opportunities for you to succeed. You won't take advantage of them because you just don't know how to do it. It's sad, it's unfortunate, but this is the reality that you live in. And me, myself, and so many other people, we're trying to help you succeed. And until you get to that point, you're going to be miserable. And there's absolutely nothing we can do for you. So please, rise out of the ashes, rise out of the ignorance, and do better. And you want to talk about, I thought this was a very interesting article. I saw this one. This was a very cool one because of the fact that it talked about people taking advantage of, and you talking about people working hard on this. This was from yesterday. I wanted to share. Amazon contract drivers are hanging cell phones in trees next to distribution stations and Whole Foods stores in Chicago so that they can get notifications to pick up deliveries before arrivals. In these flex drivers, they're hanging their phones in trees, and the idea is to help them grab incoming orders in faster via the Amazon Flex app. Sources said that there is a coordinated group working together in the scheme. The app alerts drivers closest to the store that a new delivery is up for grabs, and the first person to accept it can take the delivery and get paid to do so. But by having multiple phones, the group hopes Amazon won't catch them on their plan. You want to talk about sneaky, you want to talk about crazy. That is just downright insane. But hey, cheat, do whatever you need to do, right? Maybe it's not Amazon you should be working for, but there should be other places. Talking to one of my friends about this yesterday, and I've said it many times on my program. A lot of people are fighting for pieces of the pie when you should be making your own pie. You should be making your own pie. Don't go for crumbs. That pie you're aiming for, crumbs. Not even worth it. Not even worth your time and the heartache of fighting people who are going to backstab you just for crumbs. But you have to learn the ingenuity so that you can turn around and be better and succeed. And you don't have to be a dirtbag to succeed. Speaking of this, I saw this, and it was attitude of gratitude. I'm like, I got to end this off nicely. I've got to end this off nice in the correct way. Here it is. You have, if you have a story, b4faog@gmail.com. I want you to send that to me, and I'll do the best that I can to share your story and what it is that you have that I think is really important. I saw this story here, and it was this whole idea of, they said, nice guys don't always finish last. Being selfish doesn't get you ahead, even in a dog-eat-dog workplace. They basically said that they looked at the personality of the 450 students and their career progress. The students filled in personality surveys while at the university and again at work, and they found no faster career progression for selfish people over nicer individuals. Being selfish and even in a dog-eat-dog-eat workplace doesn't get you ahead, and nice guys don't always finish last, a new study of disagreeable people found. They said that disagreeable people, check this out, disagreeable people who are selfish, combative, and manipulative may be intimidating, but their lack of social skills cause them to more harm at work than good. Selfish, deceitful, and aggressive people were no further in their work careers than other people who were generous, trustworthy, and nice, according to the studies found. So, as you sit here and you keep thinking, me, if you see the bride that I have, yeah, this nice guy finished last, and I'm cool because I've got the babe, I've got the wife, I've got the blessings of God. Well, the first one was Christ dying on the cross for my sin, redeeming me. That's a blessing in and of itself that can never be understated. And then for some strange reason, in his kindness and in his grace, God chose that he was going to bless me and give me a great woman. And I am honored and I am blessed. Truly. Folks, we're going to do this better. And I'm encouraging you to do this better. Because if you choose the path of darkness, you're only going to get darkness. The black community, you want darkness, you're going to get it. So right now we have either Brad Staggs and Daily Mojo's coming up next, or we have Patriotically Correct. Either way, I want you to listen to both programs. I'm your host, Watson Prunier from Battle4Freedom. I'm going to clock out for now. Take care, and God bless.